Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Maria No, and we are at a live CEO Space Forum event at Lake Las Vegas. We are such a proud media partner. And our special guest today is a very successful entrepreneur, philanthropist. He's also an incredible father of 2 kids. Please help me welcome Mr. Alex Mandossian. Hey Alex, thanks so much for being here.
Can't believe it, we're here finally.
Woo, it's so great. Now I love this topic that we're about to talk about, and it's about family-centered entrepreneurship, and of course, our first addition to our family, so we're really excited. I want to talk to you about why is this so important to you? Why are you being the face of this topic?
Well, I believe it started when my daughter was 2 years old, Brianna, and I was on a teleseminar, because back then I did teleseminars, and I still do them.
Yeah.
And I was playing the role of teacher on the teleseminar.
Okay.
And my daughter accidentally fell down the stairs, and she was okay, but what ended up happening was once she landed, I heard boom, right?
Oh my
and then I
gosh.
became father simultaneously. My mom was calling me at the time, serendipitously, and I was a son. And a neighbor was waving through the window down at, in the lower part of the block, and I was neighbor. So all of a sudden, these 4 or 5 roles that I play crashed into each other. And that was the moment when I thought, wow, it's not just about entrepreneurship, because I'm never just an entrepreneur, I'm never just in business. It's about family, and family in my context is not just family with the bloodline family. It's family with civic family, family with student body family, family with personal bloodline family, family with neighborhood family. So family really is a term I use colloquially as a general sense of community, which really, that's what it stands for. So family-centered really means community-centered entrepreneurship, where you just change roles at the speed of thought depending on what happens. In that case, it was a scenario which could have been a disaster, but she ended up being okay.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Let me just get some clarification then, your definition again on what family-centered entrepreneurship is.
A family-centered entrepreneur is anyone who puts community and engagement before making money and undertaking anything in their business. The word entrepreneur comes from a French word, entreprendre, means to undertake. And Jean-Baptiste Say is credited for coining that term, but ultimately all it means really is to undertake anything and produce it to a higher level. And that's why I deal a lot with productivity, because productivity is getting more results out of everything you put in. So technically a single mom is an entrepreneur. A divorced dad is an entrepreneur. An unemployed service worker is an entrepreneur looking for a job. So we are entrepreneurs in everything we do, as long as we're undertaking something where we're achieving something at a much higher productivity level. And in that context, family-centered means people and engagement comes before the undertaking of the project. People before projects.
So this actually eliminates the whole guilt, work, family, friends, that sort of thing, because I know I'm a workaholic. I love what we do, and our days, 12, 16-hour days just fly by. So having that extra person that you of course love and want to care for, I always feel like this torn, like how do you balance all of that?
Well, that's the situation. When Brianna at 2 years old was falling down the stairs, and she was sliding. I mean, it wasn't like tumbling, but she was sliding down. That was an emergency.
Yeah.
So at that moment, Dad took a precedent over teacher. Now, ironically, my mom, Carol, is calling me around the same time, because I'm seeing it on call waiting, right? And I was son, and I took dad role before son role at that moment. Neighbor is waving. Right?
Dad role still.
Still, that was an adjunct to what my primary role at that moment was dad. Now, here's where the guilt comes in, I believe. I'm playing dad, and a phone call comes. And now I pick up the mobile phone, and if I do that enough times, then daughter or son, I have both, they will remember that, I believe, for the rest of their lives. I wasn't always engaged or present for them. I wasn't family-centered. So for me, it's not that family always comes first. If there is a show like this happening, an interview, then family comes second, as long as it's not an emergency. So it's about priority, and there's a principle of priority that I've learned from Stephen Pressfield, who's a great author, and I've known for quite some time. And what I learned from him is that the principle of priority is knowing the difference between what's important and what's urgent.
Okay.
And then doing what's important first. And that's priority. So my priorities are, in circumstances where there's emergency and family comes first, then family comes first. And I don't have any guilt anymore because I don't have a mobile phone, I don't connect to the internet, I'm off the grid when I'm with my kids.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's a great tip. How did you do that? Because you are so known for internet marketing and to be off the grid like that. Was it easy for you to do?
No way.
Oh, okay.
I was kicking and screaming. I still am kicking and screaming. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a drug. You know, you have it there. It's a quick fix. When the call's coming in, typically it's a text or a call.
Right.
I don't want them to model that behavior. So they're not allowed to have phones at the dinner table. I mean, if you go to a restaurant, sometimes you see a family and the kids, the father, you know, the mother, you know, and I wonder, like, when people are conceiving these days, maybe it's
yeah,
who
exactly.
knows what they're doing, right? So we just figured to get unplugged and unwired. It's not all the time when I'm with my kids, but there's kid time.
Yeah.
So what we do is we compartmentalize.
Okay.
And so all family-centered entrepreneurship means is to have a priority over which family takes priority. Is it my student? Is it civic leadership in my city? Is it spiritual? Is it family? Is it neighborhood? You know, what is it? Which one is it? And then going with that and doing what's important first. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Now, do you believe that this is actually the way people are doing business these days, or where we're heading? Is this the future of business?
You know, the U.S. is way behind with entrepreneurship. If you look at in the third world, when people came to the U.S. from England, our founding fathers were entrepreneurs. Benjamin Franklin was the first millionaire in North America, in the United States. And all the founding fathers became wealthy, and they did it as entrepreneurs. Senate wasn't in session as long as it is now because they were farmers and they were doing their work.
Yeah.
And then the immigrants came in the 1800s through Ellis Island, New York City, where I lived for about 8 years, and they brought the spirit of entrepreneurship in. And then somehow we sold out in the 1920s, 1930s. I'm sure General Motors had something to do with it. Just the rise of the corporation had a lot to do with that, where we thought that was job security.
Sure.
And we know today that there are a lot of structurally unemployed because there is no job security. Forget Enron or Arthur Andersen or any of the things that have happened in the past. What's important is if you are in charge of your own future as an entrepreneur, that's job security. If you don't have business, you're accountable. So the immigrants that come now and people in the third world, that come to the U.S., they're entrepreneurs.
Right.
But they're family-centered. So if they run a hotel,
it's family.
the family's there. If they run a dry cleaner, the family's there. If they're in doing patchwork,
sure.
For clothes, the family is there. If they have an insurance agency, the family is there.
Yeah.
Real estate, the family's there. That doesn't happen in most American homes that I know of. So that's what I'm trying to change. So that when it comes time for college, I don't want anyone to hear this in my family, but if they have, let's say, $250,000 in college funding,
right,
or working capital for a business, I want my kids at 18 to choose the working capital.
I'm with you on that one.
All right.
All right, brother. So what would happen then if we're looking at focusing on and shifting? Really, you're doing a paradigm shift especially in the American culture.
We're going back to what the third world is today. Think about it. The third world, the whole family is involved in the business. They just don't have the means that we do. I'm a big donor to Kiva.org.
Oh, yeah.
They're family-centered entrepreneurs. The entire family is at the bazaar selling stuff. If they're looking for pomegranates and trying to sell them, the entire family's involved. That's family-centered. If the United States did the same thing, we wouldn't have as many broken homes, I believe.
So do you believe in bringing families right now, I'm talking about the American family,
yes,
and creating a business?
Modeling the third world, what they do best. We poke fun at them, but they got it wired in. And we have more means. So bring in the family, get them involved in the business, so that entrepreneurship is not just the dad.
Okay.
I don't like stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
What is that? And eventually, stay-at-home mom wants to do something, right? So why not get involved in a business that the family can do business. A family, it used to be family prays together, stays together.
Yeah.
A family that sells together, stays together.
So I've got a good future in my.
I hope so.
I think it's great because I work with my husband 24/7.
Yeah, we can have your new child in your arms, and you can do hangouts. We don't have to be in this setting. Yeah.
Looking forward to that. So, is there anything that you would change personally in your own life if you're looking back? Because you built very successful businesses for, I think over 10 years.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you would change?
I would. The thing I would change, because it cost me my marriage, and in transition, I would look back and bring in family-centered entrepreneurship a lot sooner, because it wasn't that I was overworking. My spouse at the time didn't have any interest in what I was doing. Yeah. And so stopping a marriage at that point would make more sense than going through a process, because we didn't have the same life partner mindset, whereas our kids get along with both of us, but it will cost a lot of marriages because both the spouses just don't understand each other. Me on the raising children side,
yeah,
and her on the business side. So getting people involved in the business and in the rearing of the children.
Yeah.
If the business is involved, that becomes the mortar that keeps the bricks together within the family. So I would have done that a lot sooner. I would have done that 10 years ago.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, but I know that it's going to be a successful road up ahead for you. So good luck with everything.
Thank you.
And any closing words of wisdom?
Yes. I have a quote up on my wall that is by Carl Rogers, the great psychotherapist, and he said, "What I am is good enough if only I could be it openly." And what I love about that is in business, you're a heart-to-heart person. We talked about that before we went live, right? Or recorded live. And so I am too. In speaking from heart to heart in business, if we were more heart-centered versus head-centered, then it wouldn't just be about the deal. It would be about the relationship, which makes it family-centered.
Well, thank you so much for your wisdom today and for sharing with us. So really appreciate it. If people want to get more information about you, where do they go?
Marketingonline.com. Just go to Marketing Online. It's the simplest thing to remember. It's on my car. It's everywhere. Marketingonline.com. And you don't even need to buy anything if you take an assessment to see which of the 4 personas and marketing personalities you come out as.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alex.